Sure. Testing, testing, testing.
Hello, hello, hello.
There he is. All right, you guys, we're going to move on to our next speaker. It's my honor to introduce Kev, who is going to be talking about Finalbosu, which is also being built on Abstract. Correct?
Yeah, that's right.
ABS.XYZ, don't forget it.
All right, let's go. Don't hype me up too much.
I'm bullish on this guy. You should stay for this. This guy's bullish.
I love that. Thank you, Luca. All right. How bullish are we on Abstract? Let's see that first, guys. All right, let's go. Also, do we have some anime fans here? Yeah? Awesome. And last question, does somebody know Finalbosu already? Kind of curious. Oh, wow, is it that crazy? Well, you know, first off, I want to introduce you guys to our brand. We've been working on this for 3 years. I'm not standing here for myself or for my brothers, but really for the Bosus, the people that supported us since 3 years. They bought into the first collection, and it's been with us ever since. Without them, we couldn't do this, right? So, but here's our brand. Here you can see some of the main characters and against all odds. And I want to introduce you guys to 3 things. One is the culture, then our anime IP and how that ties in, and then ownership. And I want to tell you guys a short but personal story about a little boy that was 9 years old when he got kidnapped from his hometown in Indonesia. And he got shipped all across the world to the Netherlands. And he basically had to work all of his life to provide for his family, for his mom, for his brothers that left behind that were very poor. But obviously, as a little kid, he only had one dream, and that was to go back home. You can imagine being ripped away like that you just want one thing, be back at mama, right? But as he grew older, he was supporting his family back at home by sending money. He was building a house, and that dream that he had slowly faded away, right? And he grew older and older and older, and then he got the news that he had only 3 days to live. It was game over. And while he was in the hospital, the idea in his mind came back, like, I need to go back home. If I breathe out my last breath, it's going to be there. But obviously, all the odds were stacked against him because he couldn't walk anymore. The liquid built up in his body. He could barely breathe. He had to take 3 planes to go back home. And doctors basically told him that he cannot leave. It's done, right? That dream now became more difficult than ever before. This man was my father. And obviously, we brought him back home, and he lived for another 3 months in Indonesia before he let his last breath out. But what I really think that his journey is telling us is that even in the final moments of life, life is worth fighting for. And it teaches us that we can conquer our own final boss, whether it's fear, limitations, or self-doubt. Because sometimes when all seems lost, the greatest strength lies within ourselves. And the reason I'm telling you all this is because each and every one of us here has their own final boss to conquer, their own big challenge in life, right? And for him, it happened in the last moment, but each and every one of us here has a whole life in front of us. And it's up to each and every one of us to go and defeat that final boss, right? And I think what is so beautiful is that everyone has their own against the odds story, whether it was me moving to Spain, 15 years, quitting high school, slept on the street and built a marketing agency, built a big business, and then moved on with my brothers, you know, after the ripple effect into Finalbosu that we're building today. And I think that stories are one of the most powerful ways to have an impact on society, right? We're all influenced by the media that we consume every single day, and that's why we want to tell the against the odds story to the world, and we do that through anime IP. That's the choice that we make first, but it doesn't stop there. We want to go on. And to do that, we needed to create an original and successful IP. And in our eyes, that comes down to having an original, unique concept that you can expand across media, that has immersive world building, high quality art, broad market potential, fusing the best of East and West, and well-developed characters. And if you look at your favorite IPs, right, like Pokemon, you have the Pokeballs, you have the Pokemons. There's this whole universe that brings everything together. For us, here are 4 of our world pillars. One is the Respawn Express. When a character dies, they're being reborn, but they lose parts of the memory. There's the growth path. Every single time somebody learns or grows, it moves up their growth path until it reaches the top, and it summons a final boss. And every single person in this world has a final boss hidden inside of their body. But the problem is that 50 years ago, one destroyed the whole world. And so everybody's now afraid. Everybody's afraid for these final bosses. Everybody's afraid for growth and progress. And I would say that in the real life, it's kind of similar as this, right? And so hence, the question is, are you going to complete your growth path and fight the final boss, or are you going to live for the rest of life within your means, right? Then we have the ancient hieroglyphs and the suitcases. So whenever somebody has a suitcase, they connect it with their DNA, they get a special ability to fight back against these bosses. And we've developed all of these main characters, like Letsugo, and 2 of my favorite, Bull and Bear. Obviously, there's a lot of Web3 references here, because we're born of Web3 brand. We got Endo, and we've done a lot of animation in order to be able to tell our story to the Web3 audience, the Web3 space. We created a lot of trailers. I invite you to go to our Twitter account just to check it out, because the quality is insane. It's all done by my brother. And the last part, ownership. And this might be the coolest one, I think, till now, because who wouldn't want to own a piece of their favorite universes, right? And we've seen some amazing stuff happening in the space with Pudgy. That's a big inspiration for us. But really what it comes down to is you have culture, anime, and ownership that you expand across different mediums, like movies and toys and video games and merchandise, right? But what do I mean with ownership? What does the future of media franchise look like? And I think it boils down to these 3, maybe a bit more, but these 3 are most important. How we make media, right? Because what once was done by a whole studio, nowadays is going to be in the hands of a single creator, because there's so much AI technology that allows us to create. It's about who's creating media. There's so much fan art that's being created for all these franchises for so long already, but it never was really rewarded. And I think that's about to change. And then it's Web3. Who owns media? And I think it's really awesome that we can all have an identity and part ownership in our favorite brands. And this actually leads us to this graphic that I really love, designed by my brother over here, is on Web 2, the fans were at the bottom of the pyramid. But in Web 3, they're actually integrated into each and every part. And obviously, we're still at the beginning of how this is going to pan out in the future. But I think we're seeing some really great examples of where this is heading to. And yeah, Finalbosu wants to be a big part of this, pioneering this in the anime space. And obviously on Abstract, you know, bringing it to consumers. What do we think? In case somebody wants to try it, if you haven't yet, on whitelist.finalbosu.com, or you can scan the QR, you can try a mini game, like a whitelist experience that my brother here has designed. There's different levels, you can play games, you can learn about the lore and the universe. We're all about education. In the first 2 weeks, we had over 100,000 people playing the games, right? So it's been crazy, it's a lot of good feedback. So go and have fun. Not gonna lie, it's kind of difficult. It's kind of hard to get through it. Anyone played it here already? Oh, wow, that's crazy, man. I often don't realize how crazy it went. But yeah, that's Finalbosu, guys. Hope you enjoy it. I have no idea if I'm within the 10 minutes or over, but I had 2 days to prepare, so I appreciate that.
Oh, guys, bullish on this guy for sure. If he's any indication about abstracts, that's very bullish.